This is Princey Seats channel, your preferred channel for awesome contents. If you are new to the channel, kindly subscribe and press the notification button for further updates. A very important information about the cluster heads and beneficiaries, pay attention to this.
Good morning, everyone that is in Grant ecosystem. My name is Apostle Ambassador AKC Michael. I want to appreciate God for the life which He has given to everyone that is in Grant community, because everything that has a beginning has an end. The Bible says that the end justifies. I know that the situation in Nigeria, everybody is suffering pains and agony because of the economy in Nigeria. We are not going to blame most of the leaders, but we are saying, according to the Bible, it says, when the children of God sin against God, God give them a wicked ruler. So we ask God for mercy to transform Nigeria. I want to address an issue that is moving all the social medias concerning the V-note of my able PRO, which is Oxtar Dawood, Comrade Oxtar Dawood. I believed that this young man just gave us an expo of exact what some NGOs are planning to do, or what UAAG management are trying to do to cluster heads. So we should apply wisdom instead of cursing him or saying bad words to him. We should pick a word from what he have said. And I, Apostle AK, I downloaded every word that he have said. Listen, I'm not an NGO owner. I am a cluster head. So why am I trying to say this thing? And I want this message to go viral to every platforms to make sure that it reach to UAAG management. Because if care is not taken, there will be a lot of blood shared in Nigeria. Because listen, some cluster head will take some NGOs to shrines. But me, as a man of God, I will just go out my house and pray unto any NGO that messed me up, because I know what we suffered as cluster heads to make sure we build 1,000 beneficiaries. Listen, cluster heads have suffered mostly to make sure that the NGOs succeed. So UAAG coming out this hour to tell us there is nothing like cluster head, that is nonsensical nonsense. Let me just express my feelings. Listen, the UAAG management supposed to know there is nothing like UAAG without cluster heads. There is nothing like NGO without cluster head. There is nothing like beneficiaries without cluster head, because the cluster heads are the people that sought all the beneficiaries. Let me tell you, do you know that most of us that are cluster heads, we have some agents in different villages, rural areas, communities, because they are the people gathering these beneficiaries for us. Sometimes we spend money and give them to pay for a hall where people will gather, we can get beneficiaries' name. Listen again, do you know that most of us, to type 1,000 cluster names can cost you 50,000, can cost you 40 or 30,000 naira to type it. So now, after suffering and using our own money to sponsor the NGOs, also to pay for the cluster heads, now you are telling us that the cluster heads are nowhere to be found in the budget of UAAG. It is not good. Let me just clear it to everybody that is hearing the sound of my voice, even our able Apostle Dr. Ken Wakama. Let this message read to him that the cluster heads are the people that makes the NGO whom they are, supported them for whatever they are doing, their trips to Abuja, whatever they are doing, signing of MOU, everything. Sometimes they spend money, we spend money for them. And now that things has come to a time we will benefit from what we have reaped, and they are saying nothing like cluster head in the diary of UAAG. Listen again, do you know that most of us that are cluster heads, our life is also at risk, because some of the agents that we have gathered from different villages that gathered those beneficiaries are on our neck. Let UAAG say, cluster heads, we are giving them 1 million or 100,000, good for us. And let the NGO count all those cluster people that has cluster heads on their hand and give them the money that the UAAG has got. If UAAG did not mention any amount to give the cluster head, it will still cause problem. Listen, if you are, let me use this thing as illustration. If an NGO is given to 2 clusters, that 2 clusters that the NGO has given to, the NGO should use 500 cluster that is in it, or any some cluster that is in it. Make sure you pay first your beneficiary, your cluster heads. After settling your cluster head, as the UAAG management will specify, look at how much a cluster head will do. Pay them all they have labored and suffered for. I remember when Mbagachuku was saying that any cluster you sponsor or you do, that they should pay it. And UAAG management had it, and they did not come out to say anything, because by that time, Reverend Mbagachuku is working with them. So what am I trying to say? Let them use, if they give them 1,000 or two clusters, let them use 1 cluster to first of all settle their bundle heads. After settling their bundle heads, they can now pay the remaining 1 cluster and the one that will left from that place to their what? To their beneficiaries, because without beneficiaries there is nothing like cluster heads. So if they can abide in this advice, I give it as an advice. I'm not mandating them to do it, but it is an advice, because I see blood being shared in Nigeria. I see a lot of NGO being in a cage, their life being jeopardized. So to avoid all these things, they should do it exact as I said. Listen, I said number 1 point, without cluster head, there is nothing like beneficiaries, there is nothing like NGO, and there is nothing like UAAG, because the clusters is what makes the UAAG or the donor to know there is something like beneficiaries. Now, without the cluster head mentioning the amount you will give the cluster head, the life of the NGO is at risk. The life of cluster heads is also at risk, because we have some agents that is working with us. So please, UAAG management, please, let's not allow the enemy to take advantage of us. Bible says we should be wise like serpent and be harmless like a dove. Let them treat this bundle heads matter very, very carefully, because I see blood in Nigeria. Many people will lose their life. Many, not only them, they will lose their life and lose the life of their families, because I see it clearly. So again, please, let them mention, if it is 1 naira you will give a cluster head, let UAAG management say this is 1 naira, because the NGOs will now go and formulate whatever they like and to give cluster head. No, let them mention it. This cluster head will get 100 naira. And let it be written that any cluster you make, they should pay it from the beneficiary slot they give to them before giving to beneficiary, because beneficiary did not work anything. Yes, they didn't work anything. The people that did the work is the cluster heads, and they have spent much. Cluster heads have spent much, so they're supposed to sympathize the cluster heads. And may God bless us. Please, this is an advice. Make sure that this message go viral to all the platform until they reach UAAG management. God bless you. Stop causing Ostadahu. The man revealed the prophecy of what is going to happen in future, and we should be grateful to him, thanking him for God using him to expose this thing, because if he did not expose it, UAG management make announcement, blood was shared in Nigeria. Thank you and God bless you. I said again, my name remain Apostle Ambassador AKC Michael. God bless you.